Hi, I'm Craig Phillips. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build an entire media wall,
which will stand as a showpiece display here at the Walls and Floors brand new 12,000 square foot showroom in Kettering. We arrived just days before this stunning showroom was open to the public. The Walls and Floors team spent months working around the clock, setting up hundreds of different state-of-the-art wall and floor designs, as well as dozens of full bathroom displays, all in preparation for the grand opening day.
It's going to house a 65-inch television in the centre there. It's going to have a 1500mm flame effect fire there. The whole frame itself will be built out of 3x2, consisting of two large towers like this either side. They'll be held together by three more sections, one in the bottom, one in the middle, and also one in the top. You can see I've started to clad around the one side of it here, creating alcoves. These alcoves are going to be two each side, lit up with downlighters, and then the third one will be a hidden door. When I say hidden, this plywood will be covered with acoustic panel boards.
You're going to be building your own media wall. Sketch a plan and work out your sizes. They're normally dictated by the size of your room, along with the size of your TV or fireplace, and whether you're going to have alcoves or drawers. Due to time restraints, we built this in detachable sections in our workshop. As you can see, we have the two side towers that are standing upright either side, made out of 3x2 sawn timber, as are the three centre sections which are bridging across between the two towers at the top, middle and bottom, all held together with a minimum of two 100mm screws, where each length of timber joins. Our whole structure is standing at 2.4 metres high, over 3 metres wide and a depth of 500mm. Building a project this size is hard to do on your own, so I've drafted in Jay and Liam to help me. Now the frame is complete, I measured up to start cutting sections out of plywood to clad the frame, which also adds to the structural strength and makes it easier to install the finished acoustic panel boards. Further 3x2 square frames were instated in both towers to hold the drawer bases and alcoves. For the top sections of the four alcoves, further plywood was cut down the same size and then holes were cut out to fit the light fittings. These are where they're screwed in position, ready to be wired. We did the same and cut further ply to clad the sides and back sides of the alcoves. Then Jay cut me two lengths of plywood for the side towers, where we drilled and fixed them into position. I had these old sheets of pine wood which I decided to reuse. I cut them up into square sections to form a box which I used as two drawers for either side of the towers. We then cut some full 8x4 sheets of plywood down. These were 12mm thick for us to fit to the front. We offered them up into position to double check that they fitted, then we screwed them into place and did the same on the opposite side. This is as far as I need to go with the prep. I can dismantle it now and load it in the van.
But I'm not in our workshop anymore. I'm in Walls and Floors brand new showroom in Kettering, where it's just about to open.
Glad we did all the prep the last couple of days in the workshop, because we do only have one single day to erect it before the showroom opens. Now the first centrepiece is in position and fixed to the two towers either side. This sets out the position where the media wall's going to sit. The second centre section is slid directly into position, levelled, clamped and then screwed firmly into place. Then straight onto the top centre piece. This again has to be positioned with the top of the two towers clamped into position and further 4-inch screws screwed in tightly, holding it all into place. Then Jay turned his attention to fixing the runners either side in the towers to hold the drawers in place. Them old pine wood shelves that I had in stock worked a treat for building these solid box drawers.
Now the wooden frame is fitted and bolted together. We made this up in our workshop, but it's made out of 3x2 timber. And what it's formed of is two large towers either side of it. Now to build these towers, we've over-engineered it a little bit too much than what you'd need at home because we are in commercial premises and it needs to be a bit heavier and stronger. However, I've got 4 timbers spanning from bottom right up to the top on the front and 4 to the back. These are anchored together with more timbers in there. I'm not going to give you any sizes because your sizes at home are going to be different depending on how big your media wall is, but this is the main skeleton that you can follow by. This frame now is fitted together with these sections here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're all cut again at the same size and bolted in, and it holds this into position. The reason why I'm having them is we're having an open alcove here with a downlight, another open alcove here with a downlight, all set out at the same size, and in the larger gap here is going to have a drawer with these runners on it, and the drawer is going to come in and out, and I told you that's going to be hidden. You won't actually see that. But you've got one turret made here, or tower let's call it. We've made another one exactly the same, which is over that side, and then they are held together by these 3 box ladder sections. Again, you at home is going to do your own sizes, but we've got a 1500mm fire in here and we're waiting for the fire to arrive to see how big it goes in here. So we've left enough space to slide that in and actually panel it around. But once these are constructed up, they are bolted into the 2 side towers either side, holding them into position. You've then got a center one built at the same width, again holding into the 2 towers either side. This is going to be the middle section which will get cladded over it. It'll house a 65-inch television in the center of it here, and then another ladder which bridges over the top, which again will be cladded. That holds the 2 of these towers perfectly level and fixed together. You really need it to be bolt and braces, especially in commercial places like this. So I've driven 2 4-inch screws right the way down through here into these sections, and likewise going across there into these sections. That way for me, I know it's solid and it ain't going to move. If you're going to build something, build it to last.
Now that the frame is levelled, I'm applying a good strong multi-use adhesive to the back of the wooden frame where it butts up to the wall. Now, due to the nature and the size of the structure, I'm also screwing down some angle brackets firmly into the timber and into the wall behind before the adhesive dries.
Just a little small problem that you always occur when you're on site. Our fire has just arrived, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and our TV has arrived. The TV fits perfect in the center there. We did allow a little bit of space that we could have bring in with the cladding and closing it in. However, we thought we'd oversize this in the center for the fire, but the specification and the sizes is different than what was sent to us. So unfortunately, the fire is bigger. So what we're going to have to do now is take this middle frame out here, chop it down and make it smaller. So visually wise, when we look at our media wall, everything's staying the same except this section here. We'll get a little bit thinner and then we'll put the paneling across that. So we've moved on from the fire delay by adjusting our frame here. We've made it solid now, so we've got no sag in there. We also had to cut a chunk out of that because we have got some ventilation directly on the front there. It doesn't push out any heat, but sometimes it needs fresh air and things coming in at that level. So we've catered for that. However, we've also had to make another adjustment up here because this wall behind us is only an MDF sheet. And basically it's not quite strong enough to hold the 65-inch television. So if you're doing this at home, you're probably going through into your brick or block work. We're in a retail park here in a unit and it isn't brick and block work behind it. It's a stud frame and just some wood. So we've built some extra timbers and some extra timbers in here. So the whole weight of the TV now will be on our frame itself, and this literally will super exceed my weight. I'm going to sail a sheet of MDF over the top of it and then fix the television bracket to it, and that'll take the weight.
These sheets of plywood were cut down to length when we prepared the main structure in our workshop. However, they still need additional sections cutting out, which required precise measuring using a tape measure and spirit level. We transferred the measurements onto the panels before cutting them perfectly to fit around the flame effect fire and TV openings, as well as the two recesses where the spotlights are featured and the bottom box drawer openings either side of the media wall. Jay then installed the drawer runners so that the box drawers could run smoothly. We started to cut down small sections of the panels to fit in the back and sides of the recessed alcoves where the lights are situated. Now for the icing on top of the cake, we started to fit the acoustic wall panels, and the great thing was we had hundreds of different colours, sizes and styles to choose from here at the Walls and Floors new showroom. The panels I'm using are 2,400mm long by 600mm wide, which works perfectly for the height of our media wall. The backing felt on the panels were easy to trim down to size using a trimming knife.
Now the structure of my media wall is complete. All the stud work is in place and the plywood is on the front. The beauty about having the plywood on here is because we are in a showroom, they may have to change the paneling as the months or the years go by with different designs, different colours, textures, etc. So this solid base will always stay there, but these can then be replaced. However, I have started now doing the slat wall in between here. As you can see, I've gone in the backs of all 4 alcoves and also in the 2 sides, and that is all I'm doing is the 2 sides. I'm going to leave the underside as ply and the same as the bottom there as well on both sides. So these sections we have here are the drawers. Now, again, we built these at our workshop. All they are is good old second-hand solid pieces of pine. The plywood we used was only 12mm facing it all the way around. So we thought these need to be a little bit more thicker and stronger than what that plywood is because we're making a box form. And I happen to have these old second-hand pine sheets, but they're good and solid. So we made ourselves a box. This isn't an option, you know, you don't always have to have these in your media wall, but we think they're going to be great for keeping your consoles in there, any computers or anything like that you can put inside there. Even all the remote controls can be stuck in there. The guys have put some runners on them yesterday, screwed them into the sides of the frame, and that'll allow them to open and close. Of course, when I apply my paneling all the way up, this is also going to be on the face of the door, so you're not really going to see that there is a drawer in place there once this is cladded all the way across the front. So now I am ready to fit my boards all the way across the front. Now I'm going to be using the 8 foot in length boards, so 2.4 meters. However, setting it out for your first one is very, very important, especially when you've got to make cuts like here for alcoves, openings for TVs, fireplaces and even drawers as well. Now, if you sail the full one right across there, you're going to find it very difficult to cut that out as neat as possible around that alcove. So what I would suggest is we start with one straddling where the openings are going to be. This way, once your board is in position, you can use your spirit level and transfer that level across here, and you can do the same across the bottom there, and that'll be a little bit easier and neater on your cuts. So my very first board is going to be starting about here. Now I've started to paste this out. Then what I'll do is I'll put a plate across the bottom or some tape, put my spirit level up here, check that I've got it level, and then transfer my marks on the bottom of the spirit level here, running that line all the way up the wall. And that's where I know then I need to actually cut. When I bring my board across here, I'll be able to put my spirit level in front of it, place the board in position, transfer them marks, and then the spirit level in the front of it. And I should know exactly where it's got to be cut then. Now I've temporarily fixed my second panel across here, just with a couple of pins in place. You can see where I've done the cut on these ones. I then took my spirit level, transferred that level across here, because we know the undersides and the inside of them are level. Transferred them there and there, ready to cut out. Same with the ones above and same with the door for the drawer front below. So now I'll unscrew it back off and cut them out. We continue to measure, mark and cut the panels to form a real snug fit around all opening edges of the face of the media wall. Some were cut using a handsaw and others were cut using a small circular saw. You really do need to take your time when it comes to cutting your panels. A full length at 2,400mm by 600mm wide sometimes needs 3 pieces marked and cut to go around one opening section. So that's my acoustic wall panels now complete all the way across the front and the 2 sides. I'm going to turn my attention to the drawers. I mentioned earlier we made these out of good solid second-hand pine wood, put runners on them and they slide in and out. All I need to do now is cover the front of them with some more paneling. Now I can just keep them in line with the existing panels on there, or you could be creative and turn them so they go that way as well, but the choice is yours. You can probably hear the noise going on here at this showroom. It's huge. There's about 50 trades working around us frantically trying to get this place open. So I've got to be finished tonight, cleared up, all this fire set, television on and on the road before the showroom opens.
Now that's my media wall now complete, just in time for the grand opening. Make sure you visit Walls and Floors showroom here in Kettering, or check out their website to see the vast range of acoustic wall panels available at wallsandfloors.co.uk.